Hello, everybody, and welcome to How Great is Britain, the channel where we aim to answer the question, how great is Britain? Even if, like now, we're not even there yet. But we are in the process of it. And that's why we're doing this channel, to talk about all things moving to England. My name's Brett.
My name's Gemma.
I am an American person.
And I'm a British person, also an American person, but we'll get to that later.
That's true. And we are moving our family, including our two girls and our dogs, to jolly old England.
Yes, we certainly are. That's the goal.
That is the goal. And we're here, we're documenting it. We want to talk about it. We want to answer questions, and we just kind of want to be able to look back and see where we were at the time and how tired we looked while doing it.
We look so tired.
Yeah.
We see these videos back and like, we look exactly how we feel, exhausted. We've moved, obviously, together before. I've moved from England. Brett's moved from Nebraska to California to New York. We moved from New York to Florida. And it would have been really nice to look back on those times. So now we are making ourselves do this, and we are forcing you to be on this journey with us. So like and subscribe.
That's right. Smash that like button, guys. Ring the bell for notifications. We are trying to do this once a week, documenting all of the things. We have quite a topic today, which if you read the thumbnail before you clicked on it, which I hope you did, but you see that it's about the stress of
what we're doing,
uprooting your entire family and moving.
How great is uprooting your entire life?
Yeah, so we're gonna answer that here today
from our perspective.
Yeah.
Some people may be so good at this, you know. I don't know where we fall on the the meter of how good we are at this.
I mean, I think that we're pretty good, you know, in terms of like
pretty good
how things have.
This is hot tea.
Hot. I think the way that things have sort of fallen already for us, I do think it's putting us on a good path, but I think there just are inevitably things that come up that you cannot avoid when you're doing something like this.
We want to talk about some of those biggies.
Yeah.
And the house is a big one.
Yeah.
The first one.
We're going to talk about. I mean, that's definitely number one on the list. Is just like the house, both sort of like living in it, but also selling it. It's just, you know, it's such a thing.
We own our house as much as you own it when you have a mortgage. So we are definitely tied to this area. If we were renting, I guess it would be a little bit more easy to just uproot and move. Maybe, I don't know, maybe the grass looks greener, but we definitely want to use the proceeds of our house sale to support us over there. So we must sell our home, and our house is definitely our home. We've invested a lot into this structure to make it our home. I feel like when we had to make a list of all the improvements for our realtor, our estate agent, if you're watching in England, we went room by room, and I think you highlighted, we have touched every area of this home and put our stamp on it, really making it what it is. And we'll get into this more at a later time, but my job required us to air our home to be on national television at one point. And so I know that sounds really fancy.
Bougie.
I love that word.
I was there.
You were there.
It still sounds bougie.
I know, it sounds so bougie. But we did have to have our home on national television, so we did try and make it clean, clear backdrop to showcase it as best we can. So we really have done the best we can.
Yeah, the point, we love our house. The point. We love
Adore it.
And you know, I think more of an overarching question for us right now is like, and something that you've literally said multiple times is like, are we crazy?
Are we crazy?
And when you really look at it, like on the surface, yeah, it is a crazy thing, and that's kind of why we wanted to talk about it, because we know that there are other people going through the same stuff, and
being like, really, we're going to do this?
But why? Yeah, why give up your house? Why give these other things up?
Because it was really important to mention that it was very important to me. I felt like you were along for the ride and made it all happen, but it was really important for me that when we brought these girls home, their rooms were ready.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? With
Yeah.
Pippa, her nursery was ready. When we were having Quinn, we got Pippa's big girl room ready. And then Quinn, we put her stamp on the nursery. We got our bedroom ready for a newborn, for Pippa. And then for Quinn, we made improvements, what we learned from Pippa. Then we wanted to make sure the dogs had a spot. Then we wanted to adjust the living room. Like every single area of our home. When we worked from home, we made sure we had a space dedicated to work from home. Like every area has been touched, meaning that now our home is exactly how we want it. And even going in the back, the lanai is a porch area in Florida, and we've screened it all in. We've got a dedicated patio space. We have a Pippa Park, nicknamed for her to play in. Like every area has just been
it's dialed. It's
curated
exactly,
to us.
It's exactly what we want.
And that's really hard to leave.
So is it crazy that we're literally going to sell it to somebody else and then move to a place that we don't have a home ready to move
purchase into permanently? And then I have the worries like, are we going to be able to buy again? Because we're going to talk about this. The house is the first one, but we're established here. We're allowed to have a mortgage here. We had our jobs here. There, a lot of things that go into that home owning that we don't have starting again in another country. And I know that I'm from there, and the accent, Gem, what's your issue here? But when you've been away as long as I have, 20 plus years, you really are starting again. I've never really been an adult in the UK. So credit, everything starting again.
Yeah. And then of course there's selling the house, that whole process. And, we're such control freaks anyway.
Yeah.
If you couldn't tell by the extensive list of all of the stuff that we did in the house, we want it just so. And, when you're selling the house, it's out of your control at a certain point. You can do everything that you can think of to present it in the best way possible, and do all of those things and do all the little fixes and
make it look like you don't live there for photos and then for viewings, packing everything up. And thank goodness we have, a mum van, right? It's the Kia Carnival. I absolutely love it. But we all pile in there. Our two dogs, Wilbur and Rue, us, our girls, we're all in there driving around until we get the notification we can come back. And you better believe I'm checking those Ring doorbells.
Yeah, you like spying on.
I love snooping. Yeah, I do.
Yeah, I think about that because it's weird when we're overhearing people talk about our house in the privacy of their own conversation, and then we watch like these house hunter shows where somebody, like, imagine your house being on national television and hearing the opinions, but then like the entire country can also hear those opinions of your house, like, and give their own. Like, I don't know if I could handle that, but
fortunately, people have been very positive about it, which is really nice. But makes it harder because then it's like, okay, we've received a couple of offers, it's just not where we want them to be. But if we had some negative feedback where we could make improvements, then maybe we could address things to encourage an offer that we do want. But that's also hard. It's a very emotionally draining
and we can't control what other people want to do with their money.
No.
We can't control the economy.
No.
You're trying to sell your house in this economy?
I know.
That's crazy.
We've been told, if you've done it last year, well, we've done it last year.
Right. So there's just like a lot of things that, it's insane. And but we're doing it.
We're doing it, and we're doing it together, and we have to remind ourselves we're in this together. We're not alone. And, thank goodness.
That's a good segue into number 2. Mm-hmm. We're not alone because we have a community here.
Oh, okay.
A community
here. Yeah.
We've established certain things within the area that we live in so that we're comfortable. We have places that we can go. We have people that we can call
for support.
We're sadly, we're just starting to like get to know more of our neighbors.
I know.
In fact, we met one last night. We saw them peering over the fence. People that we had never really talked to or seen before, but they were suddenly...
And in America, you don't really do that.
No, it was a bit
especially in Florida, maybe it's too hot to go outside and peer over a fence, but they were, and I saw the husband do it, then I saw the wife, and I thought, oh goodness. So I went out just to let them know we're here, essentially, but also to see if they're okay. And I said, oh, are you okay? And I think I caught her off guard because I guess neighbors don't really talk to each other as much. Maybe your experience is different where you are, but here, we haven't really seen our neighbors.
No.
But you want to tell them why?
Well, they had lost their budgie. they lost their little bird, and they thought that it maybe had flown into our backyard, and so we invited them to come
check out,
come look.
Yeah.
And I had gone to open the gate, and I went back to where they were just looking. And as they were sort of making their way around the house, I happened to turn around and look in one of our trees, and there it was sitting
Yay!
there. So we found their little.
The wife was so excited.
After 2 hours of looking, we had found their bird. But
and then we were like, oh, we just met them, and now we're hoping to move. You
right,
know?
Right,
yeah.
And you know,
I remember them moving in.
Yeah. So there's just, you know, we're getting to know other neighbors. We've been over there within the last week more times than I think we have in the last 7 years.
Yeah.
And every time we leave with just
8 years, babe.
8, well, yeah. But
we
leave with plates of food. We leave with them inviting us over again. You know what I mean? But it's just but that's what starts, especially, you know, when you have kids and stuff, and you start to you know, because they want to go over and swim in the pool. You know, we've got activities for them to do. We start meeting other parents, birthday parties. We've been to more birthday parties in the last, 3 years. And I think...
Thank you, Pippa.
Yeah.
We tend to be people that we're not people that call our friends every single day, but we hope they know this. They can call us anytime. And we definitely feel it with the friends that we have. We can call them anytime. And, you know, we're here and they're there. But we are really going to miss them. And I think we have peace of mind knowing that thankfully we have FaceTime, which I don't really have. I had Skype when I first moved to the US, but it wasn't as accessible as it is now, video calling. And so thankfully we have that, but we're leaving all of that.
Yeah.
And we're not moving. This is the other thing too, is that we're not choosing somewhere in England. We're not moving to be close to family. We're not moving to be close to a specific area because of jobs, which is another section coming up. We're literally uprooting our family in pursuit of trying to find where we want to raise these girls. So nothing is solidified on the other side of where we're going. And so we're leaving a very established community of people that we're really going to miss.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, we're giving up a lot of friends.
We are.
In this economy? You think that's a good idea? That's crazy.
And if our friends are watching, we're talking about you.
Yeah.
Okay. And part of another reason we want to make this video, because this forces us to stay connected.
Right.
And you can listen to us waffle on whenever you want to.
So
and you can pause us and turn us down.
So in summary, there's no house to go to right now.
No house to go to.
And there's no community.
No friends to go to.
No friends. Okay. Great.
Got no house and no friends.
So far, it's very, very insane.
Really appealing. Some would say.
So number 3 on the list is just the impact on the girls, I think. And it sort of ties back to what we were just talking about. But, you know, they have friends. They have more friends than we do, quite frankly.
Certainly feels like
Pippa's very popular. And I think she's...
How is she my child? I don't feel like I was like that.
She's very outgoing. And she
forces us to socialize.
She's very social, but I don't...
Sorry, what were you going to say?
Well, just that I don't have any concerns that she's not going to be able to immediately pick it up there.
But we are taking her away from her friends.
But we are taking her away from her friends. And I
her
think
play area.
And the things that she knows. We have
her classes.
You know, classes.
Science center.
Disney. Living so close to Orlando, we have all of the family-friendly stuff that people, save lifetimes for.
Yeah.
To come and visit once. That's all at our doorstep.
She pops in on a, casual Tuesday.
Right.
Yeah, we are, Whew.
And so we're, she's young enough that it's not like she's established at school right now. It's not as if we're uprooting her from those things that, right now her life does sort of revolve.
She's 3.
Around us, and being with us. And
which I love.
Yeah, of course. And that's going to continue. But it is, it is also something that we have kind of had to learn to talk about in a way to get a 3-year-old to understand sort of the concept of, we're not going to live here anymore. This isn't going to be our house anymore. We're going to be somewhere else. And
she was very concerned about leaving our home at one point. And then we told her, oh, you're taking all of your toys and your bed and your princess dresses. And she's like, oh, to England? Yes. Yeah. She very much is starting to at least verbally talk about England, even if she doesn't necessarily understand it.
Yeah, she understands the concept of England, but I don't think she quite knows what it means.
She knows that she can wear wellies when we get to England and jump in muddy puddles.
Right.
Thank you, Peppa Pig.
And
feed ducks.
Yeah. And the big selling point is that is that because she's so in love with princesses, that there are real princesses in England.
Mummy's favorite princess. Yeah. Princess Kate.
Princess Kate.
Princess Cake. Yeah, she calls her Princess Cake.
And kings and palaces and castles and all those good things that Disney has sort of primed her to sort of expect out of life.
I know in our household, tends to be my responsibility, but doctors, the girls have a network of their doctors that they see, their dentists. I know where to go, our health insurance, which is a whole other beast, but I know what we need to get, where we need to get it, who we need to see, where we need to go. And we don't know that going the other way around. So that's a whole other ball game that gives me peace of mind here, knowing what I need, and then gives me slight anxiety to the idea of figuring all of that out again with a 3-year-old and a 9-month-old
shot
today.
Schedules are different.
Yeah.
Immunizations,
because chickenpox, I just discovered.
Even what's required is different.
Yeah, chickenpox, they don't necessarily give the vaccine just automatically. I just was looking into this, whereas here they get it at age 1. So I was looking into that as well. I know that you can elect to have it for your child, but it's not just part of the NHS system. So that's something for us to talk about. So we're learning all of these things. And this is just a sampling of what we're dealing with. And if there's any that you'd like us to deep dive on, just comment below.
Absolutely. And then kind of, lower on that list, but no less important on the list, of course, is like the preparations to move our dogs. Our dogs have been with us. Wilbur has been with us for,
oh my gosh,
how long?
Since 2013.
Yeah, 12 years.
Oh my gosh.
He's our old man. And Rue's been with us for 8?
Since 2019, January 2019.
6 years.
Yeah. And they're our baby boys, and they also have health insurance, and they also have a membership at a veterinarian office. Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
That's just a vets. They're at the vet. And so we have them all established. They have their medications every month, their flea and heartworm protections. And, we know how their routine works, and we're uprooting them and we're taking them. And that is literally an entire other video of how we get them from here all the way to England.
Right.
And we're choosing to do it ourselves instead of through an agency. So that's a whole other journey.
And once again, like we said before, we're going over to a place where we don't have those things sort of established, so we're going to have to.
We call him our old man. I think in dog years, if this is true, 7 years a human year, I think he's 84 this year.
Yeah.
In July. So.
Yeah.
He's getting up there.
Yeah.
Rue's 7 this year.
But Rue's keeping him young.
49, Rue?
I will say that
Rue is keeping
him.
And everyone thinks Rue's older than Will because he's got a white face.
Yeah, he's got his little
Hopefully
white
I'll insert a picture for you.
Yeah. But they're coming with us, and and again, it's sort of how will they fit in? What's allowed over there? What's not allowed over there? I know the plots are smaller, especially at the houses that we're looking, because we want a smaller plot of land. But
we have a third of an acre.
But right now we have a lot of yard for them, and it seems to work well in terms of like letting them just kind of go wild. So it's
we fenced in that whole yard, third of an acre.
Yeah.
And our princess dog Wilbur will go out pee and be like, "Let me in." Whereas Rue, he'd love to stay out there all day.
Yeah, all day in this economy. That's crazy. So number 4 is again this idea that we're going over there sort of not knowing what's going to happen, and that's jobs. And we have a lot of really positive feedback from people that we talk to. Like we said, we've got a great community around us, and everybody is like really like, wow. But the one question that does sort of come up, and it makes sense, is so you have a job over there? What are you going to be doing? And
go, nope, we don't have a job.
And the answer is no, we don't. And we have.
I do feel like we're making connections and we're trying to provide opportunities for ourselves, but my current circumstances, my job role has ended now, Brett's role has ended now, and so we're here kind of like tick tock, let's sell our house and get over there and get started with our life in the UK, because life in America without a job is not easy.
No. But it doesn't mean, and obviously we're not just sitting on our laurels, just not doing anything. We're actively looking, and but especially for me, the reality of the situation is like you can't.
I can't now, not until you get your visa approval.
Nobody is going to hire me. right now because I don't have a work permit. And I'm not there. So, it has to be enough for me to just sort of like introduce myself and be like, I'm going to be there at some point, but no employer is going to sort of realistically look at that now and go like, great, you're hired when I'm not physically present. That's not to say that none of these things that we haven't obviously thought about or have solutions for, but
they cause stress.
But they are stressful. They're crazy. And the job thing is one of those. It is something that we are reminded of when we talk to people about it, and they go, "Oh, great, what are you going to do over there?"
And I go, oh no, our plan.
Yeah.
And if you want to know our plan, comment below.
Yeah. And we know what we'd like to do over there, and we know what we plan on doing over there. But it is. And the most interesting thing to me, though, is I think that is such an American mindset, and I'm curious to see what it's like over in England. But it is such an American mindset that's the first question that's asked. Well, what are you going to do? And I get it because here,
in fairness, though, we get asked that from our British connections too, our family, and friends. They ask that too.
Yeah.
I think it's just life, right? You need a job to afford your life, and reality of it. That's why it causes stress.
Yeah. But I think the difference is sort of what you're affording versus what is sort of like what you don't
have. The social safety net.
Yeah.
I think there's a big difference in what social safety net is available here and what there is in the UK. And I'm sure we'll be reaching out to you for guidance, our fellow British watchers. If you have any tips for where we can start looking, let us know.
Number 5. This is sort of a catch-all. We have lived here. I've been here my entire life. You've been here for half of your life.
My whole adult life.
Your whole adult.
Yeah.
I almost said adult. Like that's how I say it.
Well, you might in
your
a year.
Whole adult life.
This is so cool because we're recording his American accent now, and then we're gonna. I'm gonna make him read a piece of paper. I'm gonna make him read a piece of paper with some, a story on it, and then in a year we'll get him to read the same story.
I'm not going to be one of those Americans. I'm not. But
his daughter says can't. Like he is totally going to pick up the accent.
Maybe, but it'll be a totally different one from where we're living. I'm going to choose one.
You're just going to pick it up.
Yeah. But this is where this is what we know. We know the systems. We know how to play within those systems. We know we have bank accounts. We have credit. We have all of these things that you sort of spend your lifetime establishing and working to build and to grow and to do all of these things. And and again, here we are just sort of going like, let's go to this place and start all over again.
Yeah.
And is it crazy? Of course it's crazy, so
I'm totally distracted because I can hear Quinn shouting me. So I'm going to let you wrap this one up all by yourself.
Okay.
I will see you later.
So, you can't afford to let a baby cry in this economy. You just can't. Tears are at a premium, guys. So all of the things that we talked about, it does sound a little crazy, and it sounds like it would just be a lot easier to just stay and to just persevere, or to just to continue on. We've got the house, we've got the community, we've got our systems in place, and so I guess the first thing is answering that question. How great is uprooting your entire family? Based on everything that we've just talked about, like it's not. It's very stressful. And if you're going through the same thing, or if you're thinking about doing the same thing anytime in the future, I guess just know that this is kind of, at least from our experience, this is what happens. It's not going to be smooth sailing. And as much as we would like everything to sort of fall into place and just happen the way that we want it, we are very quickly realizing like there are things that are just outside of our control, and it does seem insane. It's not great sometimes, but we know that we I don't think could make another decision for ourselves. And I think that's sort of the bigger point, is that even with all of those things, when we consider the alternatives, when we consider the staying, when we consider what it would mean to continue to be here for our family, there's a pull, there's a draw, there is something in both Gemma and I can speak for both of us on this, that we feel that this is the right move for us. And I think that's important too, to remember that even when you're feeling like it's crazy, and even if you feel overwhelmed and like, are we doing the right thing here? Would it just be easier? If you have that something inside of you, that gut feeling that's telling you, keep going and push through, like it's all going to work out. And I've said to Gemma a few times, like, I feel like we're going to look back on this time and it's not going to seem that long. And we're going to be grateful that we did persevere and sort of push through it. And we look forward to that first morning when we sort of wake up on the other side and sort of, have that cup of tea and kind of can breathe a bit. She's coming back.
Quinny's joined us.
She's just off camera.
Just want to come and say goodbye to you.
Yeah.
So have you answered? How great is uprooting your entire life?
I did. Yeah. I wanted to tell a quick little anecdote though. So Gemma gets she has these premonitions and she has these feelings sometimes, and you feel it in your shoulder, right?
Yeah.
In your left shoulder.
Yeah.
Yeah. So one time we were at Disney, and I collect Steamboat Willie stuff and Oswald the Lucky Rabbit stuff, and it's a really good way to collect things from Disney because they don't make a lot of them, so it doesn't cost a lot, especially in this economy. But they were doing like these mystery pins, and they had a whole wall of the boxes, and you don't get to see what's inside of them. And I said, Jem, I want the Steamboat Willie one. Pick out a box, and I watched her sort of scan the boxes, and she got her little feeling, and she picked one out of probably
a whole wall
of them.
Yeah,
probably 100 or more. And she picked one out and took it to the register. Immediately opened it upon purchasing, and sure enough, there was a Steamboat Willie pin inside. And so I say all of that to say that this is kind of like a similar thing, where it's just like we've got a whole wall of doubt, and we've got a whole wall of just like this is crazy, but we've got that feeling in our left shoulder that says this is what we need to pick.
Just to call myself back, this isn't a head decision; it's a heart decision.
Heart decision, yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess Quinn's awake, so we're going to end the video there. But we want to say thank you for joining us. If you have any questions, as we've said before, please just leave them in the comments. We're happy to help where we can, answer any questions or ideas for future videos.
Any tips, let us know. Like and subscribe.
Yep, and smash that bell button, guys.
In this economy.
And in this economy, we can only afford to smash one. Happy 4th of July weekend, everybody.
Cheers.
Cheers.
So I just wanted to jump on and tell you we filmed from our dining room area. This is our IKEA hack. We did these ourselves. We wanted built-ins, but we didn't want to spend thousands of dollars. So we did an IKEA hack with, we added cupboards and fancy handles. So this is where we filmed from today, our dining room area. Thanks for joining us.
Show them the record.
So Brett wants you to take a look and take note of the record that he chose.
Wow, so cool.
Wow, so cool, he says. He doesn't have his microphone on. Do you want to borrow my microphone?
So cool, the Kinks. Village Green Preservation Society, so cool.
See, so proud of that. But there you go, you got a beautiful view of our built-ins. Yay! See you next week.